Welcome, hi everyone. Today our group want to present Business Economic Eco 1043 topic Elasticity. Our group members is Faris Hakimi bin Harun, Ahmad Arhazwan bin Hazimin, Muhammad Muzaffar Nufai bin Mansur and Muhammad Umar Haris bin Mazlan. Okay, today we have 4 agenda here. The first one is what is price elasticity of demand. Second is what is cross elasticity of demand. Third, what is income elasticity of demand, and lastly, what is price elasticity of supply.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will answer question 1, which is what is the definition or meaning of price elasticity of demand, or PED for short. The PED means that how the change in price affect the change in demand. So as we know, the change in price doesn't always is the same as the change in demand. And from what we know, there are 3 types of elasticity of demand. First is elastic demand, second is inelastic demand, and third is unity demand. Moving on to question B, how will the 10% price reduction affect the demand? So we must know what does the amount stand for. What does PED equals to 1.5 stand for? The PED, when PED is more than 1, it shows that the customer is very sensitive to the change in price. For example, when the price only change only a little bit, a very big change in demand will happen. And the second one is when PED is less than 1, it shows an inelastic demand, which means that consumers are less sensitive to the change in price. When they are less sensitive to the change in price, even a big change in price will only affect a few of demand, a little bit of demand. And lastly, the third one is unitary demand, which means the PED is equal to 1, meaning that the change in price is proportional to the change in demand. And as we can see, the 10% price reduction will have to multiply with the 1.5 PED to get the change in demand, which is 15%. And here is the graph of effect of the price reduction to the demand of the car. And as you can see, the graph shows a less steep graph, which means it is an elastic demand. So from this graph, we can see that, let's say for example, the car price is 100,000 and the demand will be 1,000 units. And after we reduce the price, it will become 90,000 ringgit per unit. But our demand will increase by 1,150 units. So when we compare the revenue for both price, we can see the revenue after the price reduction is higher than the revenue before the price reduction. So this shows that the price reduction is very effective for the company, and it impacts the company greatly.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So come up to the next question, which is the second question. For the 2A, what is the cross elasticity of demand? So cross elasticity of demand is the responsiveness of demand of a particular goods towards the changes in price of different goods. So what differs between SAD and PED is that PED is changes in price of the same goods, but for the SAD is the changes in price of different goods. So there are 3 degrees of cross elasticity of demand, which are positive, negative and 0. So for the positive cross elasticity, which means that the responsiveness of demand of a particular goods to changes in price of substitute goods, or for example like fish and chicken. So when there are increase in price of fish, there will be increase in the quantity demanded of chicken. So both are positive cross elasticity of demand. So come up to the next one, which is the negative cross elasticity of demand, which means that the responsiveness of demand of a particular goods towards the changes in price of complementary goods. For example, like cars and tires. So car and tires are both complementary goods to each other. So when there is an increase in price of cars, there will be decrease in the quantity demanded for the tires. This is because according to the law of demand, when there are increase in price of car, there will be decrease in the quantity demanded of car. So the tire is also experiencing the same thing, which is the quantity demanded will be decreased. So come up to the next one, the final one, which is the the zero cross elasticity. The zero cross elasticity, which means that the responsiveness of demand of a particular goods to changes in price of interrelated or non-related goods. So there is no changes of quantity demanded for a particular goods when the interrelated goods experience any changes in price. For example, like rice and pillow. When there is an increase in price of pillow, there will be no changes in quantity demanded for rice. Okay, for the question 2B, how does the LCD of 0.8 between Major Auto Sedan and a competitor's model affect Major Auto decision to reduce prices? So the LCD of 0.8 will affect Major Auto decision because the LCD is inelastic. This is because the LCD is below than 1, means that the changes in price will bring just a small change in quantity demanded. So when there is a reduce in price of Major Auto Sedan, that will bring just a small reduce in quantity demanded for the competitor's similar model. To prove that theory, let's calculate with the given formula. So LCD is equal to percentage changes in demand of competitor models over percentage changes in price of Major Auto Sedan. So we know that percentage changes in price of Major Auto Sedan is 10%, and we know that LCD is 0.8. So we can know that percentage change in demand of competitor models is just 8%, which is lower than 10%. So from that, when the change in price of Major Auto Sedan is lower by 10%, then the changes in quantity demanded for the competitor model will be just lower to just 8% only. Thus from that, a price reduction may not lead to a very large increase in sales. It will also bring a lower profit margins to the Major Auto company.
Can I answer for question 3 for my group? Okay, first thing first. Question 3 asks, what is the income elasticity of demand, or YED? Okay, first thing first, we need to understand what is YED. YED is the measurement. Measurement of what? Measurement of change in quantity demand when there is a change in income of consumer. Okay, in theory, when the income of consumer increase, we can see also the increase in the quantity of demand. Okay, we can calculate this based on a formula, which is the income elasticity of demand is equal to the percentage change in quantity demand over percentage change in income. Alright, next slide. Okay, for question number 2, it asks, what does income elasticity of demand of 1.2 suggest about the impact of the 5% increase in consumer in income on the demand of the Major Auto sedans? Alright, first thing first, the income elasticity of demand YED for Major Auto sedan we know is 1.2. This means that it's fairly elastic. Why? Because we can see that the income elasticity of demand is more than 1, which is we know is 1.2. When it's more than 1, it means that it is fairly elastic. Get it? Get it. Okay. Then this also means that because of the 5% increase in income of the consumer, that means that the quantity of demand will also increase. But we don't know how much, at least not yet. Let's find out. Okay, now we got the formula for the YED, which is percentage change in quantity demand over percentage change in income. I already explained previously. So now we just need to input the data. YED we got 1.2, and for the percentage change in income we know it was raised by 5%, which we will get the answer. Percentage change in quantity demand is 6%. In conclusion, we can conclude that yes, elasticity change, income elasticity of demand for 1.2 is correct, because when income rise by 5%, the quantity demanded increased by 6%. Okay, thank you very much.
First, let's define price elasticity of supply. PES measure how responsive the quality supply of a product is to change in its price. The formula is simple: percent change in quantity supply over percent change in price. Okay, the slide showing different PES value: elastic, inelastic, and unitary elastic, with corresponding explanation. Okay, we see here, if PES is greater than 1, supply is considered elastic, meaning producer can quickly increase supply in response to price change. If PES is less than 1, supply is inelastic, meaning producers struggle to increase supply when price rise. If PES equal 1, supply is unitary elastic, where supply change proportionally to price. Okay, now let's apply this concept to real scenario. Maju Auto, a car manufacturer, has a PES of 0.7. Since this value is less than 1, we know that its supply is inelastic. This means that when demand increase, Maju Auto will struggle to quick ramp up production. So, what precautionary action should Maju Auto to take handle demand surge? So, there are two key strategies Maju Auto can adopt to handle potential supply issue. First one is increase production capacity in advance. Since supply is inelastic, Maju Auto should plan ahead by expanding its production facility, hiring more, or investing in new technology. This proactive approach ensure that they can meet future demand without significant delays. Second is build up the inventory. So Maju Auto can also stockpile cars in anticipation of higher demand. And why? This help buffer against supply shortage. It also come with risks such as high storage cost and potential overstocking. Okay, so we go to the graph. To visualize this, let's look the supply curve. Since Maju Auto supply is inelastic, the curve is relative steep. This means that even if price increase significantly, the quantity supply does not increase as much. That's all for me. Thank you.